Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here. It's not so bright and early anymore. It's 9 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I just stepped off the treadmill and I wanted to get right here, right in front of the video. I'm still dripping sweat. I've been on the treadmill for an hour and I realized something. That has to do with the Danny Masterson, the guy, the 70 show, Hyde from the 70 show. It just hit me while I was on the treadmill, and I wanted to get down here. I just hit stop on the treadmill. I came back down to my apartment. I still got everything on because I knew if I didn't do this right away, I probably wouldn't make the videos, the stuff I'm going to talk about. There's going to be some pretty explicit stuff that I'm going to talk about, stuff that happened to me. And you know what? This is the messed up thing. It didn't even occur to me. None of this was even in my memory when I made that video up until just 20 minutes ago. I forgot. I put this all away, locked in a little box in the back of my head, and that kind of makes my point about what I'm going to talk about. Okay, the Danny Masterson video, facing 30 years to life. I just did that video 2 days ago, and I'm amazed that it got like 1,000 views already. I didn't think it would. And when I made that video, I talked about, I was kind of along the lines, my thinking was that he deserved it. Good. 30 years to life, great. And I talked about how the women, I believe that women rarely would lie about something like this, especially 2 or 3 women. So in my mind, I have no doubt. I believe it, and it's a fair sentence, to say the least. I think, if it was possible, some of these women should have a go at him, where they could just have him with his hands behind his back and do whatever they want to him, and it didn't even occur to me. This morning, I actually checked my analytics, and I looked at, it tells me how many male viewers I have, how many female viewers, and I used to only have like 18% female viewers, and the vast majority, I think it was even more than that, were men. And now it's more women that are watching my videos, and I talked on Facebook, my Facebook page this morning, about how I like that, how I get along better, I feel more comfortable with women. And I talked about how I don't feel comfortable with guys a lot, especially guys that I don't know, that I'm just introduced to, men I just meet. I'm suspicious of. I feel aggressive towards them. Like, I want to establish that I'm the alpha, regardless of who they are. The people that are already in my life, like my brother-in-law, my stepfather, my friends, family, that doesn't include them. And it still hadn't occurred to me. I haven't read the comments on the Danny Masterson video yet, but I'm guessing there's probably some guys that are saying that's too much time, 30 years to life for this. And I'm guessing here, I don't know. And I want to address that. I didn't realize how much I didn't even remember this. I mean, it wasn't even in the front of my memory, about how this happened to me. And that's probably why I feel so, I could empathize with these women. I mean, I didn't want to talk about it. The biggest fear was that I wouldn't be believed. Or another big fear was that people would say, when I told my family, they'd say, "So what? Maybe it was your fault." That would have freaking crushed me. I don't think I'd still be sitting here if my family had said that. Luckily, they didn't. They took it seriously. My little sister actually went after the guy and went up to his house and said she threatened his life. All 5'1" of her, 108 pounds, 5'1", and she was going. God bless her. I love that. I love my sister. I love my whole family to death. What am I talking about? Between the ages of, I'd say, after my father died when I was 9, I grew up with my mother and my sister, and my mom started dating a policeman. Older policeman, Irish older policeman. He's probably in his late 50s. My mother was, at that point, I was only 9 years old. My mother was probably in her early 30s or 30s. And he was a decorated policeman. He was going to retire and everything. And I got a bad feeling from this guy right from the start. And he started abusing me. My mother had no idea. She'd leave me alone with him, and I would lock myself. This is before anything happened. Just the stuff that he said. He groomed me. That's another reason why I can't stand when people on the right talk about grooming, and when they have no freaking idea what a real groomer is like. This guy was dating my mother, a policeman. Nobody would ever guess that he was like this. And he told me, I'll be there for you, Daryl. If you need to fix your bike, if you need somebody to help you tie your tie, I'll be the guy. I'll be there. Your father can't be here, but I'll be there for you. And when I was, and he started saying inappropriate stuff. He started giving me like Playboys and condoms, even though I was only like 11 or 12 years old, trying to buddy, and looking back, he was grooming me. I'm your buddy, I'm your pal, man, you guy talk. And one day he just reached down into my crotch and, how's the stem of your stinger, Daryl? I was terrified that he was going to come near my sister or anybody else in my family. And at being that age, this was a full-grown, large policeman, and I was 11, 12, 13. I finally fought him off when I was 14 or 15 with a baseball bat, and that ended it. My size, I had the feeling of helplessness, so I look at these two women, and how they were manipulated, how they were made helpless. They were drugged by Danny Masterson. The fear of not being believed, being violated in the most intimate way. And these are things you don't forget. You don't ever forget. You live with. Like I said, there's times now where I'll smell the cologne from that guy, and I'll feel my temper go through the roof. My hands will start shaking if I smell a cologne. If I see this particular type of these cheap jeans that he used to wear, same thing, I freeze up and I just feel my adrenaline go through the roof, almost like I'm gonna have a heart attack. My hands start shaking. These are things that never go away. These are how he damaged me, and I realized how much I have in common with these women and what happened, and why I can understand that 30 years to life isn't even close to being a fair sentence to this guy, to what he did to these women. He took something that could never be given back. The trust, the damage that he caused these women, it's something that can never be replaced. It's to the point where I could almost say that I would have rather this guy that did this to me, I would have rather that he just offed me or shot me or something than what he did to me. Seriously, that's how bad it is. I didn't talk about it till I think it was about 38 years old. I was using, and I'm not going to blame 20 years plus of addiction on that, but it certainly didn't help. This guy used to offer me, a cop, he had confiscated drugs, and he would offer me those drugs. Like I said, I could write a whole freaking book. People wouldn't even believe, the instances. This went on over 4 or 5 years, and this guy violated me, and the stuff he did in every conceivable way, the stuff he wanted to do to my friends around me, the girls around me. Like I said, it's just he's gone now. And I remember, I told my family when I was 38 years old. I just blurted it out, and it hurt. My family believed me, and it hurt them so bad. And my little sister went to take him out herself. The damage that he caused me and my whole family can never be fixed. 30 years, I see a lot of I didn't even realize this till I was on the treadmill just a half hour ago. The similarities, but more than that, just why I felt the way I did when I made that video, the Danny Masterson video. I heard myself saying, 30 years, and I was kind of, you could tell there was kind of an angry. I wasn't kidding. It wasn't humor, but I was angry when I made that video, and I didn't even realize why until this morning. And the similarities between what happened to me and what happens to these women. And like I said, it's for the rest of my life. It's changed how I see guys, all my relationships for the rest of my life. These are things you can't get back when somebody violates you and takes away your trust in other human beings like that. So 30 years to life for Danny Masterson is can't even begin. It's not even it's not even enough for a punishment. There is nothing that can give any of that back. There's no punishment that's fair. for what he did to these women, taking advantage of them, drugging them. Supposedly now, I'll put a link down below, that they're watching Danny, that he's on a watch to make sure that he's handling it mentally. Me personally, I couldn't care less what he does, what happens to him. I could say something really bad here, and I'm going to keep myself from saying it. As far as what he could do, and I wouldn't mind. So yeah, I can empathize. I can, and the messed up thing is I had no idea. I put this, I had this locked in my head, and I didn't even realize this until 20 minutes ago. The whole looking at the analytics this morning and the women viewers, and remembering how I get along better with women and how I don't trust men, and then it all just came back into my head, and I thought of the Danny Masterson video and everything, and it hit me like a sledgehammer this morning. That's why I feel like this. That's why I don't think 30 years to life is. I think he has a lot more to pay. That's the video for now. It's kind of an impromptu video. I apologize for it, you guys. I'll be back later with another video. I got to go get cleaned up and take a shower. Have a good Saturday.